everybody, and welcome back to this episode of Romantasy Roundtable. This is Rick, and I am joined here with my roses,
Amanda
and Kim.
And always forget to do this, but if you are one of the few people who listen to us and happen to like us, always remember to like and smash that subscribe button. I think that's what the kids say, right?
You know better than I do.
Thank you, Far Talker. All right, so we have what?
You came out the gate picking on Kim early.
She's a Far Talker. She's at least 2 feet from the mic.
You could still hear me.
She gets closer and talks quieter. That's how that works. So we finished part 1 of Fifth Wing. We have now read chapters 37 through 51. And we are going to rehash it. I'm really glad we have our ChatGPT notes because I read it a while ago and I don't remember much what happened.
Same.
All right. So last we left our friends, they had just broken up with Basgaeth and went to Orisha. And that was sort of it, right? Everyone's sort of showing up there, and Violet is now there, Orisha, and she's struggling with her torture from Basgaeth and guy. What was his name? Barish. That was the one, right? And in general, for me, I was a little bored at the beginning of these chapters. I don't think too much was going on, but basically they're setting up a new school here. Right, they're setting up a new way to learn, basically continuing the year that they're in. Am I getting that right?
Yep.
Yeah,
great.
Sure.
All right. So I'm just putting the team on my back, and I'm going to keep going.
I don't remember is where I feel like we get. Okay, so in chapter 37, we get like a look into Violet's PTSD about the Venin and about her torture, and she's like, I read this right after I finished The Women, and so I was just like in reading about PTSD land. So that stuck out to me. I also, I'm not sure if it happens promptly in chapter 37, but we do get some soup quite quickly in this section. Is it chapter 37 where we get soup, or is it later?
So. Oh, okay. I remember it was...
ChatGPT glosses over the soup.
The soup is important.
I was going to say, ChatGPT is not actually helping us all that right
It doesn't say anything important about chapter 37.
I need to let it know how important the soup is.
And tell it it's soup.
Yeah. We need... Yeah, so we're going to train our ChatGPT to be a little bit better.
Didn't the other one do summaries better? Not ChatGPT, but the other AI.
DeepSeek?
Yeah. You did.
You come for the hot takes about romantasy, and you stay to learn about how to use AI successfully.
Look. I don't remember the soup, right? Oh, we got a phone call. So, how are you today, Kim?
I'm good. This looks like an actual colleague who's calling, so this might be important.
We're gonna pause the episode. I think we're back. And we're back.
That was a phone call from a smart colleague who said, when all the students leave the school at the same time, we should also use the gym door.
It's a great idea.
Great idea.
Love that.
That's all.
Look, the most important thing, we have Kim actually doing some real work, getting some actual notes from her Kindle. But
her Kindle.
Oh, I see what she did there. That was pretty good. But the real thing the most important thing is our girl wakes up.
Our girl wakes up. Wait, the most important thing is that a few episodes ago we said that our associate head of school was reading this book, and that if I didn't come back it was because I got fired, and I need you all to know she liked it.
She liked it.
She cried when Liam died.
No.
And Darna's her favorite character.
Yeah, and Darna should be everyone's favorite character.
She should have cried when Dylan died.
She probably did. Rip Dylan.
R.I.P.
Rip Dylan, and
a.k.a. me.
Other girl from the Gauntlet.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see.
Okay, but then Darna wakes up.
And Darna wakes up. We're all happy, right? She's awoken.
And she's got her wing cannot fully extend.
No, baby girl, she don't got a wing.
She's missing some muscles. And one of my notes was that Violet also has some physical challenges to overcome. And so I continue to think that they're well suited to each other. I love Andarna and Tarnyak. I love their dialogue in this whole section. I adore them.
Yeah,
And we finally got to the famous line also.
Yes.
Oh, we did.
That's
I've been
also
waiting
in this
for it.
section. We do not eat our allies.
Do not eat our allies.
I'm waiting for it all day, and
She
he says it
wants
twice.
to eat the little griffins,
Yeah.
but no, she can't eat the birds.
But she does get to eat some sheep, and it's really cute. She's so hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love her.
and the baby goats.
And she's pearlescent.
What does that mean?
She's shiny.
Shiny.
Oh, yeah. She's, how did they describe her? They thought she was purple with how black she was.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But she's like opaly.
She's like shimmery black.
Would you say she's shining, shimmering, splendid?
Absolutely.
I don't know what's going on.
All
That's
day,
from-
every day.
I can show you the world. Shining.
Is this from Newsies? Newsies?
This is
Oh my
from
God, Aladdin.
Oh.
A
Also
whole new
written
world.
by Alan Menken. Both of those are written by Alan Menken.
true.
This episode is brought to you by Alan Menken.
Thank
we
you,
are the
Disney.
Newsies. We deliver the
Oh, no.
paper. You're
No.
gonna read it.
God.
Okay, that's terrible. And we're gonna move on to.
All right.
Great, you lead then. Go.
Okay, did we cover chapter 38?
Yeah, we did. And Dorna wakes up. There's the only thing that matters.
Yeah, and there's a council. Oh, and it becomes clear that Xaden is like basically the king of
Right.
this
Oh.
land.
Right.
Well, I love how that happened. She's like, wait a minute. Are you the king? And he's like, yeah, whatever.
It's like, yeah, that throne actually his.
Oh, that throne.
Another
We're
throne,
not there yet.
y'all.
We're not there yet. We're not there
Another
yet.
throne.
Okay, so in chapter 39, Mira shows up
Oh, yeah.
and she punches
She
Brennan in the face,
Punches the shit out of him.
which I loved.
That was good. That
Yeah.
was good.
Broke his nose.
That's not what I expected. That's not what I expected. I really thought she was going to be happy.
It's about what I expected.
It's about what I expected. Absolutely. Like, she's like a decorated writer.
Yeah,
and
no.
It's like, yeah.
It's not what I expected, and I was happy.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
that's what I
fair.
mean.
I like that Brennan is a mender, obviously, and he was like, it's so hard to mend myself.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a fun little tidbit.
Yeah, no, that was good. All right, so let's see. Yeah, they're still sort of working out what's going on in their camp, right? Trying to figure out what they want to do. Then we're moving on to chapter 40. This is pretty cool. So Violet is working with Felix, who I'm unsure. I think he's just a person there, unless I missed something important.
I don't really know who Felix is.
Yeah,
And as we know, I can't Google it.
Right, you've spoiled this book too much for yourself.
Well, Felix is one of the sort of like original. What are we calling them?
Is it like the council or something like that?
Yeah,
Right?
he's one of the
He's on
council
the council,
members.
so
Okay.
he's one of the rebel guys.
And he was known as being like the best trainer.
Okay.
Got it.
And then he had left Basquiat. They thought he was dead. Turns out he's just in the council. And so now he is back in training Violet on her signet.
What I really like about this, I don't know if it happens here, but I really like how they sort of expand on how their powers work. So Felix is like, all right, shoot me with a lightning bolt. And she's like, I'll kill you. And he's like, no, just like shoot me with a little one. And he's like, wait, I can do that?
Yeah, I feel like she's learning to harness her powers in a really cool way. And it also really highlights how poor her education was at Bisgayeth.
I sort of disagree. I don't think her education was poor. I think they were training her for exactly what they wanted her
Yeah,
for.
that's what I mean.
Right.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like, it wasn't poor. It was great for making her, like she said, a weapon.
Yeah, but this is like a more thorough understanding of what her signet is and can be.
Right. Yeah. So that was very cool.
Okay, so what ChatGPT has not provided in this summary here is that chapter 40 is also the chapter where they go to the name of the other city and meet Takaris.
So
Oh, yeah.
important. As we know, I've never remembered a name in my entire life. I wrote my favorite line. What was my favorite line? Oy vey.
Yeah, they're moving to a lot of places, talking to a lot of people. I'm not good with names in general. So they're going to this place. You call it Takaris, or is that the person?
Takaris is the person.
He's the guy.
He's like the what did I call him? Not the ambassador. He's like sort of the king. Not really. He's like the top dude there.
Yeah.
And they need. Oh, this is where I struggle, guys. They need the luminary. Mm-hmm. Right. We're getting into physics now. They need the luminary to combine with their daggers. Coal. rocks. They need
Yes, they need a luminary to be able to
create the wards.
yes.
Right? Like, they need the luminary to be able to, like, meld with whatever ore they have in order to create the wards.
Yes.
Okay.
And the daggers, and so they need it for the forge.
Oh, I didn't highlight it. I screen capped it. Okay,
Ooh,
my
screen
favorite
capped.
line was when Andarna says, "She makes a good point." Andarna agrees. "Can you carry a luminary?" And Taryn responds, "That question insults me." And she says, "Can you carry a luminary while insulted?"
Yeah.
That was my favorite line. I love teenage Andarna so much. That happens as they're going to get the luminary.
Look,
yes.
Go ahead.
So just to give a little bit of a background here, though, so Takaris has this luminary, and he was like, I will give the revolution, the luminary, if I can see Violet yield fire. Power.
Yeah,
lightning.
yeah.
And then they have this really... You want to say something?
Yeah, and at this point, Xaden is like, "No."
Yeah.
And she's like, "You sound like Dane." And I thought that was a really good insult.
It was.
Yeah.
That's true.
Then they have this... I can't... Look, I'm sure it obviously was a serious moment, but I couldn't get it out of my head. So then, like, dude, Takaris, is that his name? Whatever, guy. He, like, puts a chest in the middle of the field, and he tells Violet to hit it with lightning. And then out of the chest pops a venom. Mm-hmm. But in my head, it was like goofy. It was like a Jack in the Boxy, like boing, and it was ridiculous, and it was so real.
Yeah, it felt like Kingdom Hearts to me. Like, I feel like that's how the villains, the Heartless, appear in Kingdom Hearts, where they just like pop out and
Right.
they're like boing.
Right.
It felt like a Bogart in Harry
Yes.
Potter,
Yes.
like popping out of the closet, and they all have to like practice like facing their worst fear and killing the Bogart.
What is that one? Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then whatever. Obviously, she beats it. Mira uses her power to protect them, which I think is pretty important because she didn't think she could create a shield so powerful without the ward.
Yeah,
and she did.
Which again, I think is like speaking to the education that Basgiath is interested in providing,
Right.
versus like what the signets are actually capable of.
Exactly. And the other important thing that's happening while they are in this other city, trying to get this luminary, showing Takaris that Violet can both wield and also actually kill the venom, is we see a little bit more about the relationship between Xaden and Kat. And so ex-girlfriend comes in strong here, and
Girl.
she is not playing nice with Violet. We learn that she is able to incite feelings in other people.
Right.
So she's able to control emotion, basically.
Right. And at this point, we don't know as much about it. Later in
Yeah,
this
we
section,
figure it out, yeah.
we find out that she can only really amplify feelings that are already there. So she
Right.
can't make you angry if you're not already angry. But of course, she's making Violet angry, and
Right.
then she's making Violet full of rage.
Really angry.
Yeah.
I love her,
Dude,
as a foil. Like,
I hate her so much.
right, that's what I'm saying. That's why I
I'm
do.
sick. No, I'm sick of her shit. She's like, the way that she is like tormenting her is like she shows up and she comes for Violet so hard, and I'm like, you have to calm down. Like, it's so intense, so quick, and I hate her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's why I love her. I don't know. I really like that foil to our hero. And there was something else I wanted to say about her. I forgot what it was.
She's very pretty.
Yeah.
They highlight that she's beautiful.
I was
Of
playing.
course she is.
So,
Of course.
what's her name? What's her full name? What's her government name?
Catriona.
Catriona.
Well, here's my question to you: is that her name? Because if it's Orisha, is it Castriona?
No.
Gross.
Don't say no to me like that.
We hate it.
I'm just saying. This we don't know.
There's an R in Orisha.
I'm just
Oh my God, you
saying
might be right, and I hate that.
Nope, it's not right.
Castriona.
No, it's not Castriona.
Catriona. I'm just
No.
saying. I'm
No.
just saying we don't know names anymore.
No.
Seagull.
I did that yesterday when we weren't recording. I said something and I was like, Seagull.
All
Rick's
right.
sad because he's not currently in Manhattan picking up a game.
Yeah, I pick up this game every time it comes out. I've never missed a drop, and I will be missing it today, and I'm a sad person.
Go after
Can't
school.
you go at 2:30? We get out like 45 minutes early. I did that for you. And Kim can attest to this. I was in an admin meeting. We were in an admin meeting, and we said, do we have to come back after this event?
We tag teamed this well.
And
actually.
everyone said no. And Kim and I were like, correct. The answer is no. And then anybody else in the room got outshouted because we were right.
Well, Mark wasn't there, so we didn't have to outshout anybody.
That's true. Everyone was on.
Everyone
the
was
same
like,
page.
yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
We did this for you, Rick.
I mean, it's great because then they go out on a journey in this book. Okay, right?
People, again, they come for the romantasy and they stay for us bullying each
The
other.
trams.
So I don't know who this guy is. Whatever his name with the luminary. He's like, all right. Takaris. He's like, you can have it, but y'all need to take my Griffin people with you back to Orisha.
To train them, because they lost their school also.
Right. So they're like...
Almost as though the first thing that dictators do is control the education system.
We're not talking about that here. Take that to your Instagram. Go ahead. You can keep going.
That's it. I'm done.
Okay. We support education. All right. So what happens? So they're going, right? They say, like, you guys need to learn to trust each other. You're going to work with each other. So you got to make your way up this mountain together. But the real thing is that the Griffins can't fly because something with altitude.
Yeah,
right.
They're not adjusted to the altitude, so they can't fly it
And they're little.
over the
little.
cliff. So they have to climb the cliff rather than fly over it
I
right
have
now.
to tell you guys that there's a griffin on my family crest, and so I
Oh.
like griffins.
First off, there's a family crest.
Yeah, we're Irish.
We need to unpack that at some point.
So then we're in this next chapter, right? Chapter 44. And then they're walking up the mountain. And I knew it. I'm getting the book. I'm seeing the equation of formula of the book. We're looking up the Toomey family crest right now. There's a griffin and a sailboat.
A galleon.
Seagull.
Seagull.
But then they're like, oh, who's this girl Luella? And she's like, oh my god, you're gonna love Luella. She makes the best cakes. I'm like, oh god, she's gonna die.
Yeah,
Rip.
red shirt immediately. Red shirt.
Yeah. And within a couple sentences,
Rip.
We have to make it across this cliff. Oh god. And she tries, and she tumbles over. But the problem is, she tumbles over with another rider, a dragon rider. I don't remember who it was, but it was another rider. And Violet grabs them both, dislocates her shoulder or shoulders, don't remember, but grabs them both and is basically holding them both over the edge. And I mean, I don't think she had to choose one, but that's sort of the general feeling. But Luella does fall, and she dead.
Yeah. So a couple other things happen here. So the name is not in ChatGPT, but there's Kat's bestie.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
Rhiannon.
No.
Yeah, Kat's Rhiannon.
Oh, yeah. Cat's Rhiannon, yes.
Kat's Rhiannon is hanging out with Violet because they get paired up, and then Rhiannon is hanging out with Kat.
Yeah.
And Kat's Rhiannon is like pretty cool.
Yeah, I like her.
And she, so this Luella dying gives Kat all the ammunition she needs to get everyone to turn against Violet, which of course is her
Goal.
But her bestie keeps being like, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. It's not Violet's fault. That's not what happened. She's not listening to her bestie, which is not bestie behavior. And something else that happens here is when Luella dies, her griffin dies.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so it's the opposite of what happens with
Dragon
riders. Griffin flyers die and their griffins die. Dragons die and their riders die. So we learn that here, and we have a little baby griffin die. It's really
Yeah, it was really sad.
Yeah, sad.
Um,
And then the wyverns show up.
they eat that griffin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They eat the griffin. Griffin's
Okay,
like dying on the.
And this is like, when you said that like the wyvern popping out of the venom popping out of the chest was like funny to you.
Yeah.
This was funny to me because
Oh.
it felt like the clouds parted and I don't know how to explain this. It felt like the clouds parted and he just like
Chomped.
little mouth, like just with the tip of his
Oh.
teeth was like, yeep, and like brought him back. That was funny to me.
But
Yeah.
now we know that the wyvern and therefore the venom also know where all of these folk are.
All right.
And the
Because-
dragons couldn't really detect them.
Right. Because all the wyverns are able to talk to each other, much like the dragons are. And so they're able to tell them
And
where they're all hanging out.
but the really important thing about that is because it's a new dragon that hatched, right?
Right, yes.
A new baby dragon in Orisha has hatched.
There is a
Oh, yeah.
new
That's-
Andarna. There's 4 new Andarnas, we learn, in the hatching grounds.
Yeah, and
Little Feathertails.
now the rest of the Venom know that as well, which is
Danger.
no good news
Yep.
for us. I think we passed it because ChatGPT didn't do a good job, but
This episode is not brought to you by ChatGPT.
no, I need to rethink my subscription. That's a lie. I'm never going to unsubscribe to ChatGPT. But I believe it was earlier in the book, Violet tried to activate a stone. I'm going back a bit.
Oh, we didn't talk about that.
Yeah.
So she
didn't
thought
talk about that.
she
Oh.
thought that she solved the riddle of she translated the journal, and so she could activate the ward stone. But it didn't work.
She thought she needed I'm making up a number, I don't remember, like the 6 strongest riders and their blood.
And their blood. But we find out at the end of this section that's not what she needs.
But we'll get there.
But we'll get there.
And we're going to have to keep moving because we're going to run out of time.
We don't have anything next, though.
Don't you have class next?
We don't have class till
11:40.
block 8.
JK, we're not moving fast. We'll keep going.
And I do believe...
Okay,
Hold on.
10:56.
Here you go, guys. You hear that?
Block 6 is coming to an end. By 10:59, you need to be in your block 7.
Oh, I have supervision.
That class will meet
Oh.
for 40 minutes. So please move on to block 7.
This episode is brought to you why Rick now feels even worse that he can't finish this episode and he really should have got his cards. Rip.
Rip.
Why can't you go at 2:30?
All right. Well, finish this episode later. Bye. It's actually false. Your favorite Taylor Swift song is The Archer.
It's not my favorite Taylor Swift song.
It is, isn't it? It's your favorite track 5. Is this changed? No, you've said The Archer's your favorite track 5.
Sometimes.
No, this is news to me.
Well, sometimes it's My Tears Ricochet.
You're very far.
That's
now
fine.
you're the furthest talker.
Sometimes it's My Tears Ricochet, and sometimes it's How Did It End? And often it's You're on Your Own Kid. I think You're on Your Own Kid is my favorite track 5, like actually.
Guess what time it is?
It's time for Cliffords Corner.
You lead this. Once again, become a job for me. Hi, Caitlin. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
So we are talking about Fifth Wing, aka Iron Flame, and we're talking about the part where Violet is trying to restart the Wardstone. How did you feel about that?
About what?
About Violet trying to restart the Wardstone?
I didn't really have any feelings about it.
I know it's crazy because she was wrong and like it didn't work.
Wrong for trying?
Well, no, I mean, who's ever wrong for trying? She just tried the wrong way. She misinterpreted the book. She translated it incorrectly.
I don't know if that's her strength.
What would you say her greatest strength is?
I couldn't possibly say.
What's your favorite strength of hers?
I wouldn't say that I have a favorite.
Ask her about Andarna.
So Andarna, our favorite baby dragon, has woken up for her sleep, and she seems to be a little teenage angst girl. How you like that?
I mean, I appreciate that she's figuring out who she is as a dragon. And we all go through rough spots in our adolescence, right? Like our edges are a little sharp. But I am pretty confident she'll figure things out for herself.
Yeah, that sounds great. We all love teenage Andarna. She's given a little sass back to everybody. It's always been great.
What are your thoughts on the Xaden, Violet, Cat love triangle?
Xanon's got to figure it out because it's not working.
Who do you think he should... Oh, wait, hold on.
You took my question. Are you team Violet or team Cat?
It's tough because we know so much about Violet at this point. So it's like really hard not to want to empathize with her and root for her.
But Kat was there first.
I just don't feel as connected to Kat as a character.
And she's kind of an asshole.
I mean, I'm not going to go that far because I'd like to think that, you know, I need to learn more about her struggles to really understand why she's acting like an asshole. Like, there must be a reason, right? But yeah, I guess, like, my preference is always Violet.
And what did you think about the throne scene?
Unexpected.
That's where is it? Where is it? I'm ringing the bells big time.
Yeah. Like, on a throne?
Oh my god, on the throne?
That's freaking wild.
It was crazy.
Like, Under the Metal Part 2.
So since we're here and talking about Kat a little bit, I'm going to tell you what part I loved when Kat and Violet were going at it. When Kat was like, you know that thing he does with his fingers? I taught him that.
Rick. I don't even like to hear you bring it up.
But, I mean, we're going to cycle this back. And then Kat and Violet are fighting. And then Kat goes to Violet, that thing with the fingers? Thanks.
I know, because Violet, I mean, she's got a good comeback. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm going to the emotional support grocery store now.
Sounds lovely.
Can you get me one of those, sponsored by Food Town, can you get me one of those canned coffee mocha things?
Yes.
Thank you.
We love you, Caitlin.
Love you. And love you, Cindy.
So Cindy's the only listener.
Look, we got one. We're going to keep the one. It's fine. Keep and cherish the one. So we did a lot there, actually.
We actually got through. That was probably the most
productive
Cliffords Corner we've had. So
I really did like that banter with the fingers.
that was
great.
great.
It was really good.
So something else
I liked
that,
reading it. I didn't really like hearing you
Shut
bring
up.
it up again.
Agreed. Something else that came up while they're doing this, like, walking along the cliff thing, is that we find out that the flyers, their, like, test rather than crossing the parapet is that they just, like, jump onto a griffin. And all of the riders were like, oh, and what do you do with the dead bodies? And they were like, nobody just, like, dies. Like, we don't kill each other on the mat.
We like
don't
fall into the water. It's like a cliff dive.
I know.
Yeah,
right?
and it's
I was
like you
that
either-
sounds fun.
Right. It's like you either get up and try again or you do something else with your life, which is like, I don't know. When I read that, I was like, ugh, these, like, stupid flyers, like, such little wimps. And then I was like, no, wait a second.
Right.
Like, it's the riders who are crazy, and all of Bisgayeth is designed for them to, like, hate each other.
They're creating a machine. They're creating a machine of weapons.
It's crazy.
You know? Let's see. Then we get some news. Some city, I don't know. My notes call it Pavis, Pavi, has fallen to the venom.
It's not Pavi.
I don't know. One of the wingleaders has been killed.
Never
All right.
heard of him.
Yeah, everyone's upset. Blah blah blah. So the big thing is, you know, they go back to Brennan saying, like, we have less than a year, and this is sort of just reminding us that the clock is ticking. Mm-hmm. We have Kim with her active book open, being a little nerdy. You got anything for us, Kim?
We did skip over a couple things that are, I think, helpful for future development. One, they, as a new cohort in school, start learning about runes,
Yes.
which,
Is another thing for me to learn that I don't know. Sorry.
yeah,
don't
but I
know what
appreciate
runes
that
are.
I
they,
know what runes are, but it's like you have to do this and then that. I'm like, oh, God.
right, they make shapes with their hands and then are able to imbue their power into a substance.
I really
with
like
their
how she
hands.
describes, like, pulling the strands of her power and how, like, the strands of Andarna's power look different than the strands of Terran's power. I'm into this.
I know, I thought ASL teachers.
It's just another thing for me to learn.
We also have this thing where they teach Sawyer. Is it Sawyer? They teach Sawyer to sign a
How to
little
sign.
bit
Why?
because he's got a crush on our girl.
He's trying to get it.
He loves our girl Jacinia, and so he's learning a little bit of sign language for her, and it's so cute. And I love that, like, we're teaching about deaf culture in our ASL classes right now, and I love that her deafness or at least we don't actually know if she's deaf or if she just primarily communicates via sign language. But I love that like it's just like a thing about her. It's not like people either just like know how to sign or they don't. There's no like she's better or worse because of this, and it's just like, oh, he wants to get with this girl, and so he's like got to learn her language to try to impress her. It's just like really refreshing to like have a deaf character that's like so normal, and the way that sign language is treated is like normal. And it's, as an ASL teacher, thank you, Rebecca Yarros, for that.
Heard. Okay, another important thing that happens here is the Flyers and the Dragon Riders are not getting along, and so the council is like, you know what, y'all, we're going to take this to the mat. You guys can fight each other one time and figure shit out, and then we're all going to move forward.
This is so fucking reality television. Yeah. I hated this.
Yes.
I didn't hate it. I hated it, but loved it.
I thought it was lazy.
Okay.
Yeah, I did too. It just,
it's fine.
Sort of
we
like
needed Kat
over.
and Violet to fight. It's fine.
But the important thing about their fight is that Kat does reveal why she's being so shitty about Xaden. And she's like, no, it's not about the fact that he loves you now. It's about the fact that he has a crown. And I want the crown.
And they were betrothed as a political alliance.
Yeah.
And he was not in love with her, but he was like, you don't have to like somebody to sleep with them. And Violet is all upset about this, and that's when we get the throne scene, which we don't like super need to talk about because we've already talked about it, but a thing that happens here that I thought was not lazy was when she snaps into Xaden's brain and she like sees herself through his eyes like feels his desire. I thought that was
Here for it.
Loved it.
Yeah, that was great. Let's see. Something about... Oh, yeah. I think I told Kim at some point, I was like, I'm waiting for the part in the book where Kat and Violet, like, there's a battle, and then they fall off a cliff together, and now they have to depend on each other. Like, you know that's coming, right? You know what's going to happen, right?
I hate that.
Right?
Lazy. That's lazy. I also, like, neither here nor there, but I've read a bunch of books lately where, like, somebody gets surprise pregnant, and I just have to say, if Violet gets surprise pregnant in this series, I'm going to die. I'm so tired of people... It's such a lazy plot device. It's lazy. Over it. Basic.
And again, particularly because they're like 20 years old. You don't have to get pregnant.
So, wrapping this up for the most part, Violet and Dane are working together to try to decipher the runes.
Yeah, we're here for Dane's redemption arc. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I'm like rolling my eyes. I'm like, okay, fine, I get it. Like, I'll let you back in a little. I'm like slowly forgiving him.
Yeah, I want them to be friends.
Right. I'm getting there. I'm not fully there yet. When he dies, it'll happen.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Okay. That's his prediction.
Yeah, Dane will die. I don't know when though. Unclear when. But then we're gonna have that feeling bad moment. But big revelation. I think this is where we end this part. Is Violet realizes she's translated the runes incorrectly. Where she read blood, she actually realized it was breath. And she basically kind of realizes that she needs the dragon's breath to start the wards, and she doesn't want to tell Dane because Dane is by the book. And as I was explaining to Kim, she didn't understand this part. I was like, Kim, the reason why she doesn't want to tell Dane is because if she puts up the ward, if she puts up the ward, then the Griffin Riders lose their power. And only the Dragon Riders have their power, and there's an imbalance of power. So I explained that to Kim.
Thank you, Rick, and your gaslighting. Appreciate it.
Opposite. I wasn't even there for that, and I know that Kim explained that to you. All right, so what do we think's going to happen next?
Let's see. So we have to wrap up the book, right? Someone's going to die.
Someone's going to die,
and we're not going to like it.
They got to fight with the Bisgayeth people.
Yeah, that'll happen.
And that'll unite the Griffin Riders and the Dragon Riders. Griffin Flyers and Dragon Riders.
Yeah, someone has to die, I think. I don't know who. It may be Sawyer.
Oh, no.
Mainly, I'm only going Sawyer based on, like, I see a lot of reels. I've been seeing a lot of Riddick reels. So my brain says he's not dead.
But Riddick is like funnier than Sawyer, so I feel like he's more memorable. So there's reels about Riddick.
Yeah, you need
Yeah.
to change up your algorithm.
That too.
You're getting so much
That's great. I love
fourth wing
it.
content.
And he sends it to all of us, and confession time. I don't watch all of it.
That's fine. I don't listen to most of the things you say anyway.
Wow. I have no additional predictions, but I did receive a spoiler, and so I am once again asking Rick who he thinks I know is going to die.
I mean, I said Dane, so I'm going to go Dane.
Okay, now last time you
Oh.
said it was Jacinia,
Oh, shoot.
and now you're saying it's Dane.
Yeah, throwing a dart, I'm just going to go with these three names. I know that there are three, and it's cheating. I'll pick one. Jacinia, Dane, or Sawyer. I think it's a little early for Dane to go in this redemption arc, so probably not Dane. If I'm going Sawyer and Jacinia, I'm still going to go Jacinia, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Kim's read this book.
Oh,
I fine. I have no thoughts.
What else are we reading?
I am reading The Queen of Nothing, the third book in the Cruel Prince trilogy. We're wrapping it up. We're 60% through.
I am rereading a book that I have read before called
Iron Flame.
The Last Something in Sunder City. I can't remember what the last blank is.
Sounds memorable.
I don't read the books for the titles. The author is Luke Arnold, and I'm reading it because the third book in the series came out 2 days ago. So I am excited to reread and catch up with the new one. And it's like crime noir, but in a post-magical land. So it's good.
I just finished The Women by Kristen Hanna. It's a historical fiction about nurses in the Vietnam War. I thought it was excellent. I gave it 4.5 stars.
Ooh, 4.5.
4.5 because I really liked that the story of the main character felt really real. Like, she wasn't based on a real person, but it felt like she was real, and it felt like it was about her, but it was also about every woman in the Vietnam War, and I think that's a really important story to tell. It took off 0.5 star because I thought the romance was predictable. But other than that, I really loved it. Definitely believe the hype, but it is heavy. It is heavy from like page 1 to page end. It is heavy, heavy, heavy. So yeah, when I finished it, I was excited to jump back into fifth wing. And now I am reading The Lost Bookshop. And then I'll probably finish that today. Yes, my coffee.
Man, his coffee's here. Coffee is complete. The transaction is over. Before we end, I'm going to throw a little plug out there for a Kickstarter that I just found, and I want to bring it to the group. So I learned of this. It's called In the Blink of a Dragon's Eye. It's a novella that comes with like mini games to play in the story. So like you read a chapter,
That's cool.
and then it's like you play this little game to like if you're reading, I'm making this up, but like if you're reading Fourth Wing and they finish the gauntlet, you then play the gauntlet.
Cool.
Yeah, I love it.
So I'm probably gonna buy this. It's called In the Blink of a Dragon's Eye. It's pretty cheap, actually. It's $40 for the hardcover with the mini games that they come laminated, so you can like play them over and over again.
Remember last year when you had me kickstart that Darkwing Duck comic?
You didn't get it yet, did
No,
you?
it finally came.
Oh wow, that's great.
Yay.
It's really cool.
That's
And I
fun.
didn't know that it was coming. And one day I sent him to the package room to get like, I don't know, like a small, I thought it was like my dog's collar or something. And he came back with this like big heavy box. And I was like, what the hell is that? And then it was the books, and it was a great surprise.
It's amazing. Yeah, Kickstarter is great because like it takes forever, but when it comes, it's like Hanukkah. I don't know. I didn't want to say Christmas.
Your birthday.
It's like your birthday.
I celebrate Christmas for what it's worth.
like Christmas.
I also celebrate Hanukkah.
It's like Hanukkah. No, but it's fun to kickstart things because you forget that you did it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh my god, I got a thing.
What's our homework?
So yay, y'all, we get to finish this book. I'm talking loud enough.
And then what are we reading next?
Oh my god, I don't know. You put something in the notes, didn't you?
I think I said...
Are we
No,
going
we're
straight
going
into
Onyx Storm.
Onyx Storm?
We're going
no,
straight to
we're
Onyx Storm.
That's it.
And then we'll do a one-off. but-
I think will actually kill us if she can't read this book.
No,
yet.
we're doing Onyx Storm next
Okay.
for sure.
Great. All right, everybody. We're going to do this next week so we can pick up Onyx Storm right away.
Bye.
Bye.